Welcome to Seminoles.com. I'm joined by Director of Athletics Randy Spetman to release today that we have filled our 2012 football schedule after an exhaustive search of all the FBS schools that we could try and find. We settled on an FCS school, announcing today that Savannah State will join us for the 2012 season.
Yes, Rob, and we're glad we can do that. We know it's important for our fans to know what our schedule is next year so they can make their schedules to come in and watch our games. And so we did an exhaustive search over the last 2 weeks, contacted over 40 universities, and tried to determine, who is the best fit and what we could get in here. A lot of timing issues for different schools that needed to have their home games themselves. But we are glad that Savannah State has agreed to play us.
Yeah, and we released in the formal release specific schools and big schools. Obviously, we tried to work with Oklahoma,
Yes.
Syracuse, Pitt, some of our newcomers that'll soon be coming into the ACC, and just could not work anything out with them. Important to note that most of the big schools, just like Florida State, would require a home and away, and we cannot give away that away game in a future schedule.
Right, and in our new conference in which we added members, we could go to a 9-game conference schedule. It really reduces our flexibility, especially when we play Florida every year, which is a non-conference game. Just the ability to work that in the schedules is important to make sure that we have the right competitive balance for our program here.
Yeah, and capture that, if you will, that it's going to change because 9 games are coming for the ACC teams. That leaves you 3 non-conference games. One of ours is taken up with Florida, just as Georgia Tech is taken up with Georgia. Clemson is taken up with South Carolina, some of these traditional non-conference rivalries. So you really only have 2 non-conference games to schedule and play with now. Schedules have really tightened up, not only within the ACC, but around the country. It's going to be much more difficult to schedule these big games in the future.
It is, and we'll continue to look at that. We'd like to travel to different places, whether it be Atlanta, Orlando, Jacksonville, or Dallas. In that, it has to be the right matchup and the right timing in our schedule to make sure that we are competitive to play for the national championship.
Also important to point out, and I know you did in the release, that the school you shouldn't assume that one of the schools didn't want to come to Florida State and play
Right.
because of the challenge of the competition. It had to do with scheduling from their end as well, and maybe later in the year you could have scheduled something, but that would have left us with an awkward schedule in terms of an open week, correct?
Yeah, and we just couldn't seem to find the school that could do that in that regard. They wanted us to go away at that part in our schedule. We didn't think that was good for our program down the line, and we had been selling our season ticket package on 7 home games, and it would have been difficult to reach back out to our fans and say, hey, we're only going to 6 home games.
Yeah, and particularly in today's economy, 7 home games is absolutely critical, not only to the life of the athletic department, but the university in general and our
Yes.
community and economy, and just not something you can give up a home game.
We don't like to, and 7 home games is a real advantage when you want to play for the national championship. So that's what we want our fans to come and travel here and support us next year. We need the stadium full every game, and that's what's important. When the stadium's full, we win.
Savannah State will fill out the 2012 schedule, announcing today they'll fill that September 8th date. Season tickets on sale right now for $321 per seat. That's 13% off an individual game ticket price if the home games don't sell out and some of those become available. But very attractive schedule, obviously. Put in this predicament by the late departure of West Virginia from the schedule. February 3rd was when they let us know. We have filled that, announcing today with Savannah State, and continue to go from there. Thanks for joining us here on Seminoles.com.
Thanks, Rob, and thanks to all you Noles. Go Noles!